From the Beam Media Studios in Dallas, Texas, this is the For Drew Show, the show where I, Jack Everett, tell Drew about my life, so he'll know what's going on in the world. Well, Drew, what do we got for you today? Well, it is November 2019, and what is so important about November 2019, you may ask? This is the month that Doom Eternal was supposed to come out. Now, I say supposed to come out because it was delayed, and I am mad. I am mad about it being delayed because I would much rather have a crappier game now than a better game later. Because why would I want to wait for a better game when I could have a crappier game now? Well, since Doom Eternal didn't come out, I can't really review the real Doom Eternal. And so I am going to review Doom Eternal. But I'm going to have to review a game that I made up myself. And so to do that, I have this little cute Doom Slayer Space Marine. And I also have this very cute Pain Elemental. And so let me make up a little game of make-believe of Doom Eternal. I'm the Doom Slayer. I'm the Pain Elemental. Ah! Doom Eternal. So that is Doom Eternal game. So how do I rate that Doom Eternal game? Well, I mean, it just features stuffed animals for its characters. And so this game it's all right, but it's only all right if you're like a 5-year-old. And I'm not a 5-year-old, so why would I even want to play a game that just involves stuffed animals? So I am very upset about that. Okay, so maybe we need to actually invent a better game. And so for that reason, I've got this action figure of the Doom Slayer. Now, if you look at this action figure of the Doom Slayer, you will notice a few things different. Number one, the detail is incredible in this Doom Slayer because he really needs to slay all the Dooms that are out there. You know, this stuffed animal Doom Slayer is very cute, but it does not have the same kind of detail as this one. So let us make believe a better game with the Doom Slayer, but I still only have a Pain Elemental of stuffed animal form for him to fight. I'm the Doom Slayer, and I hate stuffed animal Pain Elementals. All right, so how do I rate this game? Well, this game has an action figure instead of a stuffed animal. So it is for a slightly more mature audience. So I would say this game is fine for a 7-year-old. Now, I basically give both of these games a B+ rating, so they're okay. So Doom Eternal is an all right game, but it only has a B+ rating. And you know what, though? I am a grown adult man, so I do not want to be playing with action figures or with stuffed animals. So I am going to do what I should have done from the very start, and I am going to program my own Doom Eternal game. well, Drew, now that I have programmed and played my own Doom Eternal game, how do I rate it? Well, let's start with the graphics. The graphics look like they were made in MS Paint. You can especially notice this in the player portrait on the HUD, because you will notice that there are errors even in the drawing, and so it's like the artist did not even use the circle tool. It's just like he dragged the mouse around by hand to make the graphics in this game. Now, as for the game itself, the gameplay, the game only featured one enemy. It only featured the imp enemy. So that really doesn't make it any better than those make-believe games I made, because they only featured the pain elemental enemy, and this Doom game only has an imp enemy. But I will say this, there were a lot more of them. There were like hundreds of those imps coming after the Doomslayer in that game. And so I rate that as actually pretty good. In terms of the gameplay itself, it was very fun. But I will say it felt more like an arcade game of the Atari era, because the player couldn't actually move around other than to look left and right and up and down. And so he just shot the things that were coming at him as if it were like maybe a Space Invaders type game. And there didn't seem to be any story at all. But, you know, I mean, we don't really expect much of a story from a Doom game, do we? So how do I rate the game overall? Well, I mean, it was a very fun game, but it wasn't even really comparable to Doom 2016. And so I give this game an A- rating. This has been The For Drew Show. I'm Jack Everett. Thanks for watching.